And I think Ibarra is.
And I think they are. And Rodriguez almost had another goal today. Yeah. He missed it. So we'll see what happens.
Right.
But going into next season, if we don't see a competitive team in the beginning of next season, Heath's job's on the line, and I think Manny's job is on the line as well.
Yeah, and I listened to you guys earlier, and you were talking about last podcast, but I mean, I agree with it needs to be sooner rather than later.
It does.
We can't give them a half a season, because a half a season, it could be too late.
It could be.
I mean, because we need to see some results soon. It's coming. It'll be year 3, brand new stadium. I mean, we need to be competitive. And when I say we, I say the United. But
I look back at other, because I've never been involved with an MLS expansion team before.
Right.
Yeah. But I look at other leagues. You know, the Timberwolves, when they came about, I was a big Timberwolves fan in '89. Really, the goal was in 3 years to be competitive. They weren't competitive in 3 years.
Yeah.
And they fired GMs, and they went back and forth for a long time.
You know,
when you're an expansion team, I think 3 years is the goal.
And when the Loons were back in the NASL, and I heard that they were going to be a MLS franchise, I said, okay, well, give them 12 or 13 years. But I've come back on that a little bit. I think
12 or 13 years.
Yes, but I'm actually coming down on that. I think it needs to be more like 3 or 4 years.
It's got to be 3. It's got to be 3. It just has to be. And the other issue, we've talked about this a lot on this podcast, is the fact that you had another expansion team in Atlanta who came on board, spent a shitload of money, and as a great team.
And look at it, we've done this before, so I won't bang it into the ground, but look at other sports. Yeah. And whether it's NFL, Major League Baseball, you have teams that come in and are extremely successful after year 1 or 2.
Vegas last year in the NHL.
Yeah. Like Vegas, that is unusual. That doesn't normally happen, but it does happen. You look at, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, I'm thinking Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, Jaguars.
They made it to the AFC Championship game in, was it year 1 or 2?
I think it was year 2.
It was very quick.
Yeah, very quick.
But the expansion franchises are given all the opportunity with the expansion draft and the supplemental drafts.
Yeah.
They are given opportunities to do what they need to do, especially like that's why I think we all agree, okay, maybe you give the United a pass because the ownership had to put a lot of money into their stadium.
They did.
That's true. But now that they have that stadium going into year 3, kind of all bets are off.
It has to happen next year.
It has to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, Bill McGuire is not Arthur Blank.
Right.
Arthur Blank owns Atlanta's team, and he can do whatever he wants. For Pete's sakes, they have their prices on hot dogs and beer at their stadium is the cheapest in the league. Because Arthur Blank wants people to come there and have a good time.
Their prices are cheaper than what Minnesota's were in NASL.
Yeah. That's Arthur Blank. It was Home Depot, right?
Yeah, I think that's
Home Depot, okay? Bill McGuire does not own Home Depot, does not own Lowe's, does not own anything. Bill McGuire made his money off of United Healthcare.
Yep.
Okay?
And all of it was off like stock options.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So my deal is this. He's come from a position of, I have to grow this team. And we've talked about this before. He's getting his new stadium. He's building his new stadium with his own money and investors.
Yeah.
So when you get that new stadium and all the money's coming to you then, because at TCF Bank, I don't think he gets much money out of there at all.
Oh, I doubt it. I would love to see what their rent bill is.
Yeah, I don't think he's getting much. But when he gets Allianz Field going, that's all his money then, and his investors. So then he can spend money to make this team better. Okay. So we have until next year. This offseason's big.
A lot of people disagree, but yes.
But this offseason's huge.
Yeah. It's massive.
Yeah.
And we can talk about that at the break.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
So I think right now, guys, we should take a little break, grab some more beers, and then come back with some more United talk and some more random stuff, I guess. We're talking about our cruise. Dave wants to talk about our cruise that I talked about last week. I'll talk about a little bit about New Ulm and some other stuff. So we'll be back in a couple minutes.
All right.
And we're back, everybody. Once again, we are at Dual Citizen Brewing right now in Minneapolis. They have graciously, again, allowed us to do our podcast here. You can probably hear the background noise. There's a lot of people here. It's hopping. I'm here with Dave Stevens. Dave Sterling is still at the bar trying to get a drink because it's crazy in here right now. I got another drink. I did do the flight. I got the Cross, the Autumn, the Dewey, and the Market. I'm not going to get into all of them. But my favorite of all four of them was the Dewey, which is their kettle sour with salted watermelon, which is fantastic, by the way. Right now I'm drinking their Englehart, which is their IPA. Your basic IPA. I mean, every place does an IPA. Every place has a great IPA. I have not been to a place, scratch that. There was one brewery I've been to that did not like that. I won't name the name of the brewery, but their IPA tasted like cleaning solution.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tony, but isn't as far as a brewery is concerned, isn't an IPA one of the easiest beers to brew?
It is, but this brewery, I don't know what it is. And Nels can back me up because we had the Brew Fest in Monticello a couple weeks ago, and they were at that Brew Fest. Okay. I told Nels, I'm like, drink this beer, it tastes like clean solution. He drank, he's like, you're damn right it does. What the heck's their problem? IPAs are the best thing, you know? So, Dave Sterling has now joined us once again.
Yep.
So I got the Englehart IPA. Stevens, you got cream ale?
I had to go with the cream ale, the Kellogg cream ale, and that's the beer that I had before the United game this afternoon at noon when we first came here. And I had to come back to it because, quite frankly, it's delicious. I mean,
it's good times.
It is just... they describe it as light-bodied, easy drinking, and I completely agree. That is absolutely the beer that I look for, and it does not disappoint. It is delicious.
And Dave Sterling, what did you get?
I got the Dewey.
I just talked about that. The sour.
It's fantastic.
How you like it? Yeah.
I mean, it's spectacular.
And I once again want to thank Max Filter, who's one of the owners here, for graciously allowing us to be here. We chatted with him. He might jump on the podcast in a little bit. I don't know. He's kind of off and doing his own thing right now. He's a big Wild fan, so he's watching the Wild game right now. So he might jump on, he might not. But once again, thanks to him, his partners, Dual Citizen Brewing Company, in Minneapolis, off University Avenue. Great little place. So let's get started in the second part. We're going to go a little bit off the beaten path, the United stuff. So, Dave Stevens, on last podcast, I talked about we went on this cruise together, me and Dave, our friend Nels, my wife. And I said there were a couple incidents on the cruise that I will not talk about until Dave got back because they included him. Okay? Right. So, the first incident was the fact that Dave lost his cell phone.
I did. Oh, yes. See, I was curious about what you were going to bring up, and my mind was spinning. Yeah. Oh my God, what is he going to talk about? But, okay, let's go. You can describe it, Tony.
So Dave lost, I think it was the second night we were on the cruise?
It would have been the second night going into Sunday.
Okay, so second night.
I woke up Sunday, I was like, I lost my cell phone.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So, I'll backtrack. That Saturday night, we all drank a lot. Because we had the beer package. Again, the drink package. Best thing on the cruise ever, the drink package. We go into our rooms are right next door to each other. We didn't plan it that way. It just happened to be that way, which is great, you know?
Yeah.
So, Dave goes into my room and passes out on our bed. Okay? So we walk in, Kelly, myself, and Nels, and my wife was like, well, shit, Dave's passed out on our bed. What the hell are we going to do? The Nels are like, we'll just drag him off the bed. It's fine. He won't wake up. So we drag him off the bed. Kelly and I go to sleep. At some point in the night, he wakes up and goes to his own room. Whatever. But he lost his cell phone then. So the next day, he's asking all of us about, find my iPhone. And my whole thing to that was, why would I have Find My iPhone on my phone? If I lost my phone, it's not going to do me any good. You know? And then, hours into this, what did you say to me hours into this?
I realized that I actually brought two cell phones on the trip, and I forgot that I had brought in two cell phones on the trip. I mean, that kind of mistake
whole time.
Yes. I had two iPhones.
It's fun.
I had lost one of them, and I had forgot that I had the other one.
It's fun.
It's an honest mistake.
It's fun.
Yeah.
So the second thing I want to bring up the fact that now Dave, I love the hot tub too. Dave loves the hot tub a lot.
I do. It's one of my favorite things to do on a cruise is sit in a hot tub, whether you're in the middle of the Caribbean or up in Seattle or Victoria, British Columbia.
And we were in the hot tub. We were in the hot tub a couple times. The second time was after we got out of Victoria. We came back, got in the hot tub for a little bit. I did, and then we were going to go up to Johnny Rockets. Me and Nels and Kelly were. So I go upstairs and get dressed. Dave's still in the hot tub. Me and Nels walk by the hot tub because it's right by Johnny Rockets, and we see a guy like sleeping in the hot tub. And we're like, is that Dave? Is he sleeping in the hot tub? And there's people in there with him.
Yeah.
We take a little walk around. Oh, it is Dave sleeping in the hot tub. So me and Nels like, should we go like wake him up? Because it's kind of weird sleeping in the hot tub. Nels and I take one step towards the hot tub, and security and a bartender are coming around to wake Dave up. And they wake him up, and Dave, the best thing about it is Dave's got a beer to the side. They wake up, he's like, oh, I'm fine, and he takes a drink of his beer. He's like, oh, I'm good, thank you very much. You know,
well,
whatever.
see, both yourself and Nels were mistaken as well as security. I was just simply resting my eyes.
Oh, yeah. You were taking a little nap. It's okay.
No, you
Cat
can't.
naps are okay.
You can't sleep in a hot tub.
Well,
you really can't. It's hard to do it. But I was resting my eyes, and I just wanted to prove it by taking a sip of my beer after they supposedly woke me up. And you can't see the air quotes that I'm using, but I'm using air quotes.
I just think it's funny. Nels and I were concerned about you.
Yeah.
And we go to take one step, and all of a sudden there's security going, hey, there's a guy passed out in the hot tub, and it's Dave.
Yada. I had a great time on that cruise.
It was a good time,
phenomenal.
man. Those are my two things. It was just, those things were funny.
Yes, it was funny. And you'd mention it for the record, I actually partook with the dispensary.
I didn't want to say anything.
I bought some edibles in Seattle,
you did.
And I ate one that night, and I ate one the first night of the cruise. I'm not a fan of marijuana or marijuana cigarettes in general, but the edible, I figured I had to try it when in Rome.
When in Rome, why not? Yeah.
I tried it. You know what? I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I just took a single dose. Well, honestly, the only difference I noticed was I talked a lot more than I would normally talk.
Yeah, and the first night, the night we were in Seattle, you guys enjoyed it because I passed out on the couch in our suite.
Yes, you did.
And you and Nels, my wife, took a picture of me, passed out, and then went around walking to find a bar at what time in the night?
We proceeded to stay up for another hour or two, and I was just yapping my mouth off, talk, and just like, and you were sound asleep, and I was a bit disappointed that you were sound asleep. I remember,
was tired.
I think I talked about it ad nauseum for a long time. I think it was mostly the weed talking, but for the record, I did try an edible. I'm not trying to hide it. Other than my employer, but I don't think anybody that
I didn't want to say anything about who did and who did. I didn't. I was.
It's out of my system now.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Yeah,
sure it is. But we had a great time on the cruise, and I appreciate you coming with, and Nelsy and my wife coming with, and my wife's excited. She wants to go on another cruise now, which is crazy. She wants to bring the kids next time. I'm like, nah, let's not.
The Disney cruise.
I don't even want to do that. I don't want to do that cruise because another thing I want to talk about was the fact that we were in the hot tub that one day, and there was a kid and his brother in the hot tub with us, and the kid was like, what? One kid was probably 6 and one kid was probably 10.
Yeah.
And they kept jumping around in the hot tub. And finally, one of the people in the hot tub was like, where's your mom? Where's your parents? Oh, they're off at the casino or the bar. They just said to come back to the room at 5 o'clock. And I'm going, what the? Seriously? Who does that on a cruise? These parents did, of course, but whatever. But it was a great time. I just want to bring up those two things now that Dave's here. And, of course, after the cruise, Dave went to Argentina for work, so he's been gone for another 3 weeks after that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
and like I said, I mean, unfortunately, I watched a lot of good soccer down there, but unfortunately, I could not come back with any connections. I was on assignment, as you guys said.